Somewhere in the black water, half a mile down, something the size of a school bus is falling. Not swimming, falling. On purpose. It hasn't taken a breath in over 40 minutes, and it isn't planning to for another 20. Its heart rate has dropped to almost nothing, and its lungs have already collapsed. Right now, it's heading straight for something that most of the ocean is too afraid to go near. This is the sperm whale, the largest predator with teeth that has ever hunted on this planet, and quietly, one of the most terrifying. Everything you're about to hear about it is real. A male sperm whale can reach 20 meters long and weigh 45 tons. That's roughly the size of a Boeing 737, except this one has teeth, a working sonar system, and a brain that outweighs anything else on the planet, alive or extinct. But raw size isn't what makes this animal disturbing, it's what the size is for. Every other giant of the ocean, the blue whale, the fin whale, survives by filtering, straining tiny organisms out of the water in bulk. The sperm whale doesn't filter anything. It hunts, actively, deliberately, alone in pitch-black water, against prey most humans have never even seen alive. And the deeper you look into how it does that, the stranger and the more unsettling this animal becomes. Here's the problem every deep-diving whale faces. Fat floats. Blubber floats. So how does something built almost entirely out of buoyant tissue force itself down thousands of meters over and over without burning through its oxygen, just fighting its own body? The sperm whale's answer is frankly unnerving. Nearly a third of its skull is filled with an organ called spermaceti, a wax-like liquid. At normal body temperature, that same wax is buoyant, just like everything else in a whale's body. But before a dive, the whale draws in cold seawater through a single nostril and chills that wax until it hardens, turning solid and dense, heavier than the ocean around it. Its own head becomes a weight, and the whale drops, not swimming, just falling, straight down into the pressure zone, using almost no energy at all. It's the same principle as a submarine's ballast tank, except this submarine built its own machinery out of its own skull. When the hunt is over, warm blood flows back through that wax, melts it, and the whale floats back to the surface like nothing happened. At 2,000 meters, the pressure is 200 times what it is at the surface, enough to collapse a submarine hull, enough to kill almost any air-breathing animal through decompression sickness alone. The sperm whale doesn't resist that pressure. It surrenders to it on purpose. Its lungs are built to fully collapse on the way down, folding shut like origami, so there's no air left in them to force nitrogen into the bloodstream. Instead, oxygen is stored somewhere far more dangerous to run out of, inside blood and muscle so saturated with oxygen-carrying protein that the wheat itself looks almost black. It is essentially an animal that shuts off its own respiratory system on command and survives on a stockpile for over an hour at a time, in a place that would kill you in minutes. And once it's down there, in absolute darkness, it doesn't need eyes. This is the part that should make you uncomfortable. Sperm whales navigate the deep using clicks generated at up to 236 decibels, the loudest sound produced by any animal on Earth. Loud enough that some researchers believe at close range it could physically injure or stun smaller prey before the whale makes contact. It's not just finding food down there, it's mapping it, building a full 3D sound picture of everything around it in zero light using a weapon built into its own skull. And when it finds its prey, often a giant squid, sometimes the far larger, far stranger colossal squid, it doesn't chew. It can't. Its jaw is thin, narrow, one-sided. Instead, it opens its mouth and creates a vacuum, pulling prey in whole. Scientists studying sperm whale stomachs regularly find squid beaks the size of a fist, the only part of a giant squid that survives digestion. Some whales carry sucker scars from squid 3 times their own length, fights that happened in total darkness, thousands of meters down, that no human has ever witnessed. Here's the uncomfortable twist. This animal that sounds like a monster is also, by every measure science has, one of the most socially intelligent creatures alive. Sperm whales live in matriarchal family pods that babysit each other's calves, that have distinct regional dialects passed down like language, that form a defensive ring, heads in, tails out, the instant a predator approaches a calf. Their brain isn't just big, it's dense with the same specialized neurons linked to empathy and social bonding in humans and great apes, which means the same animal capable of collapsing its own lungs and using sound as a weapon in the abyss is also capable of nursing a calf that isn't biologically its own. That contradiction, devouring hunter, devoted parent, is exactly why 19th century whalers who provoked sperm whales sometimes didn't survive the encounter. The most famous case, the whaling ship Essex, rammed and sunk in 1820 by an enraged bull whale, became the true story behind Moby Dick. So, is the sperm whale terrifying? Not because it's cruel, it isn't. It's terrifying because every part of it, the collapsing lungs, the self-weaponized head, the 236 decibel sonar, the vacuum jaw, are solutions, a precise, evolved answer to one question: how do you rule an environment that kills almost everything else that enters it? The sperm whale didn't just survive the deep ocean, it rewired its own body to own it. And somewhere right now, one of them is falling through the dark again, heading towards something in the abyss that we'll probably never see for ourselves. What part of this animal disturbs you the most, the body or the mind behind it? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more apex predators most people never think twice about.